How to build a high converting website? Here are some key elements. So when it comes to high converting website, there's a lot of things that help you convert your customers. You need to get the customer to the website, and then what happens from there? Quite simply, you need to hold their hand. And what's interesting about this is it's not so much about the key elements to add, but a lot of times it's about which elements to remove. There's countless studies, and in my own experience, it tends to be true as well, that the more simplistic the design, the higher it converts. I've seen countless visually stunning designs that get crushed by minimalistic designs. Now, the reason why is because a lot of these cool things that we add are just cool, right? They don't actually serve a purpose. So before you actually add all these extra images or videos, only add things that have a clear intention. Great example is, for some reason, it's human nature to add carousels and rotating sliders to just about every new website possible. Now, the issue with that, though, is they're distracting. And beyond distraction, there's actually a lot of other issues that it creates. One is that it slows down your website. What's crazy is, let's say you have a carousel that rotates 5 images. The issues that creates is one, there's a distraction. Because think about this, you watching this now. As you've gone to other websites, do you ever sit there and go, oh man, I really wonder what's on the next slide? Never happens. And so it's the same thing for your customers. But for some reason, we're compelled to vomit all of our value propositions into rotating carousels. So instead, what you want to do is pick your most valuable value proposition and use just that as your main emphasis, right? What is the thing that you do the best or the biggest problem that your product or service solves? Emphasize that, because everything else becomes a distraction. But two, the other issue that carousels and rotating sliders create is bloat. So even though, like in our example, we have 5 images and you only see one at a time, usually your website, therefore your customer's browser and devices, has to preload all 5 before it just shows one. There's this excess delay of these 4 other images before you even see the first one. And there's a great article, if you search Yoast sliders suck, where it goes heavier into data. And I believe that Yoast cites that less than 1% of people actually look at sliders. And then maybe one of the last things is that they're generally not mobile friendly. So you have all these disadvantages for literally no advantages. Now, that's a great example of what not to include, a key element to maybe reconsider for a high converting website. And then after that, it's really simple stuff. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's about holding your user's hands. So do you have real clear menu and navigation? And likewise with the carousel issue is usually the more you remove, the better. So keep a simplified menu. Where do you want your customer to go? What's the next action you want them to take? Focus on that. And along the lines of the menu navigation is call to action. What is your main call to action? And also, we can have too many. Go look at some websites and click around, and what you might notice is the ones that kind of turn you off are the ones that have an excessive amount of call to action. We see all these websites that have great design, but then where do we look? Are we supposed to look at the rotating header carousel? Are we supposed to look at the bold button at the top? Do we look at the clickable phone number? Do we look at the flashing text in the menu? So think about where you are visually pointing your customer. What is the first impression? And make sure it points your customer to where you want them to take their next call to action.